I'll get right down to it. What we're seeing seems so arbitrary to some people. Some individuals have no symptoms at all, others viral pneumonia, hypoxia, and cytokine storm. Okay? It isn't arbitrary at all. There's a reason. I'm going to explain it here as best I can. I think everyone will understand. Just stick with me, okay? But I want you to look at this article to understand the real problem that we're facing. After we're done here, I welcome you to go look at my other YouTube videos to see that I understood this problem very well even before this research came out of Italy. I don't have a crystal ball. It just so happens that I have spent my entire adult life studying the body's only natural defense against coronaviruses and influenza. Trump recently floated the idea of sunlight. Well, guess what? Survival is going to be about 100% if we use sunshine. When you think coronavirus, think virus genetically engineered to be treated by that burning yellow orb in our sky. It's going to be that good. I mean, the mortality is going to be less than with seasonal flu. How? It fixes the only problem we have to fix. And this is really important because we need to take vitamin D off of our shelves. We should expect mortality to be hundreds of times higher in oral vitamin D users than sun worshippers. We already have great evidence that it shuts down all the body's natural defenses against the virus. What we need to fight COVID-19 is called adaptive immunity. Vitamin D comes in and shuts down adaptive immunity. It tells the body innate immunity only. Vitamin D guys proclaim the benefits of vitamin D. They're predicating those assumptions off of sunlight. There is a system, the one I study actually, that is essential to the adaptive response. There's something we need just to make our antibodies work. It's called the iron withholding defense system. I have outlined in great detail why it's such an issue in this disease. Oral vitamin D starts off by changing our blood in a way opposite to the manner in which sunlight changes our blood. It makes your body so much more susceptible to cytokine storm, and then strips your body's ability to reverse the problem by sending your iron withholding defense system in reverse. Exactly what you need, it does the opposite. I think the biggest hang-up is that so few people study iron withholding. These pandemics are so rare. Be that as it may, I'm still at a loss here because all it takes is an internet connection to see that it is canceling our body's only viable immune strategy. The type of immunity it drives, that makes the problem worse, not better. Is mortality 100%? No, I don't think it will be. There is literature about using calcitriol to raise serum hemoglobin levels. Okay, a lot of these people have hypoxia. Doctors are throwing everything they have. There's literature about this. Fauci should ask doctors everywhere, has anyone tried this in COVID-19? I'm saying it's unsurvivable. A Chernobyl effect. The body is in trouble. Active vitamin D gives you exactly what you do not need. If they can find a survivor of that therapy, then I'm wrong. You know, it is survivable. Proving 100% mortality in that setting would at least stop us from doing it. But I'm not sure it'll get vitamin D off the shelves. For that, we need to demonstrate that people who get in the sun are almost invulnerable to this condition. And it's fine when you're getting vitamin D from the sun. You wouldn't be better off without it, but you need the sun. I don't know how to put this. We're like plants. Plants have photosynthesis. I'm saying we have something of our own no less impressive. Photopherokinesis. Okay, this is not that hard to explain. Even people without a science background seem to be picking it up really easily. And my success has been just as good with doctors. I'm excited because I'm already getting dermatologists saying, yeah, let's get out in the sun. What I'm projecting is some real Jesus in the building type stuff. Unbelievable stuff. If Eugene Weinberg hadn't just died, I bet he would say, Dr. Fauci, the SARS epidemic exposed some profound inadequacies in our understanding of pulmonary iron withholding. We put our worst man on the job and gave him no funding. The doctor researching the system you need to complement everything you are doing is an American. He's been studying this since the 2000s. He knows how to improve this system, and he also knows how to disable it. Everyone in the American Iron Withholding Club, all one of us, hope you review these postings about what happens to us in COVID-19. There are rare situations in which iron containment fails so drastically that you die from it. It's not the disease killing you, it's the breakdown of iron containment. Doctors learn a total of nothing about how to fix these underlying iron problems. There are two basic kinds of lethal iron containment failure. One is called disseminated intravascular coagulation. Every doctor knows it. You get a feeling in the pit of your stomach thinking about that waiting room because you know death is coming. That's the acronym we use, DIC. Basically, you have to fix the underlying problem, the disease causing the problem, in order for the DIC to go away, and the iron problem itself makes it hard to fix the disease. Even when the problem is not a disease, if you fall into a vat of iron sulfate, get rushed to the hospital immediately. We have great drugs for that, perfect drugs, even if they're started immediately. Bringing these people back is kind of like bringing Lazarus back. It does happen, but it's extremely rare. It's rare because of how and where the problem is occurring, and I don't have anything to contribute in the DIC arena. These respiratory conditions are different than DIC. You do not have to fix the disease and hope that iron containment is restored. All you have to do is fix iron containment and the body annihilates the disease. It's that simple. Most doctors don't know anything about that either, because we have never really identified ways to improve iron containment. If we had, every doctor would know, okay, respiratory death is coming, RDIC, the kind we can fix. Bring me the Lazarus machine. This guy's going down the tube. And the nurse would say, Shelley Miller is on the Lazarus machine. And the doctor would reply, she's been on there 90 minutes, she'll wake up in a day. Gary doesn't have that long. And people would just come back to life. Because when the problem is in the lungs, we actually can fix it. Could we outfit our hospitals with these machines? You're dang right we could. We can't use them in the morgue, but we can use them on people headed there. I don't think people realize how easy this will be. No, it's not going to be anywhere near as good as sunlight. But with the sun, we don't have 24/7, 365 access. Plus, we can only improve about 30 trillion cells per hour. With a 360 enclosure, we could get that number above 100 trillion. 6 hours in one of those things. Boom. We're going to need less UV than people think. What we're going to zero in on is this Surette band from 407 to 420. That brings a lot of the magic we need. See which bands you have to add. It's not going to be much. By Thanksgiving. Could we use this on donated blood to improve our NTBI problem? No. This is where our research in the area falls short. We could use this technology on donors before they donate, but I've already explained online why these effects unknown to science have to be achieved in vivo. Anyway, so I think a lot of people were shocked when Trump came out and said we need to be using these disinfectants. If molecular immunology were a golf course, you could say his short game needs some work, big time. These chemical disinfectants, like we use around the house, the branch of the immune system which utilizes these cytotoxic reactive oxygen species and reactive oxygen intermediates, that's the branch driven by vitamin D. That's the branch we have to shut down, not enhance. Using that branch of the immune system only makes the problem worse, like shooting into the fireball in that Fifth Element movie. So a lot of people laughed at him. But what they don't understand is that he went back into his golf bag and pulled out a driver. I'm telling you this. Hole in one on a par 5. This insane idea of science fiction that caused people to physically distance themselves from him, that should work. This technology Trump is talking about would actually be really useful for a lot of things. But it's ironic because you couldn't possibly pick a disease for which this idea would be better. Who knows if it'll get tried, but you can take my word for it. People will eventually look back and go, not so crazy after all. That would have worked. Hopefully they'll be saying, yeah, that did work. It's going to be tight. We would have to get this going by June, but it's doable. Many people as we have taking vitamin D, we could need thousands of these things. And now there is insane advice coming from every direction that supplementation needs to be increased. I cannot overemphasize this. Vitamin D and sunlight are dead opposites. We've got to get this poison off our shelves. If you've been taking vitamin D, stop. Get out in the sun. Even if you don't believe me, what would be the best way to reverse those problems? It's a perfect system. That's the problem. You impale the body with it when you take vitamin D by mouth. There's a signal we need to get in diseases like this to mount an adaptive response. I'm calling it the miracle signal because it's a miracle I figured this out. If Fauci understood it, if the Surgeon General understood it, you wouldn't be able to buy vitamin D in northern Alaska until this virus had cleared. I'm going to have a lot more up about that real soon. But the easiest way to clear this up is to show how different sunlight is, to demonstrate this miracle signal so that we can say, okay, yep, people with vitamin D are not getting that, and that should do it. As for this insane idea of Trump's, my doctor friends don't think it's crazy, and I don't think Fauci would think it's crazy if he looked at the stuff I posted a long time ago explaining how these seemingly insurmountable molecular impediments are overcome. Hemoglobin preservation is not a pipe dream, and trying wouldn't cost hardly anything. If we could get volunteers interested in knowing how vulnerable they are to respiratory complications and seeing how effectively we can reduce their vulnerability, the first step is testing the prototype we already have. This supercell technology Bill Gates has been using as a preventive measure. We can't make more of those. We can't drag that into the hospital. I don't want to spoil the surprise. This video was all about awareness. If you want to watch something more fun, watch Miracle Sci-Fi Treatment for COVID-19 already allowed by FDA. I'm going to explain exactly how to test that to show that this idea does work. What then? You have Rand Paul or Ben Carson, whoever Trump puts in charge of this, it certainly wouldn't be me. They don't have to raise any money. We already have everything we need to do this for free, basically. And if spring break taught us one thing, it's that the beach is one of the safest places to congregate. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I have a breakdown of that coming too. When people see how effective this is, everything is just going to fall into place. We can start having our meteorologists shut down beaches and parks. Sorry guys, UV index won't be high enough tomorrow for public congestion. Once we do get people out in the sun, prepare themselves for the long winter, it'll be easier to treat them. They will tolerate the treatment better. Throughout that time, we can be building this machine Trump wants, which should cost less than a ventilator. How long to clear out the hospitals? Get our ER docs to stop thinking about suicide? Couple weeks. We can reopen practically everything with few restrictions if we get Trump Care going. Yeah, people are going to get sick, but we have the solution. Trump Care, San Diego, UCLA. Lydia, you lucky duck. Trump Care Central Park. I mean, we are going to lose people, but I think most other doctors are going to be shocked. And once we recruit a bunch of medical students, smarter than me, they can just elect the most diplomatic representative to keep Trump abreast about what's happening with the government's development of these devices that we need for our hospitals and eventually our space cruisers. I don't know exactly how those conversations will go, but I have a good idea. No, sir, we don't need heat. We're going to run these devices at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. We thought about making it brighter. Yes, sir. It's going to be really bright light, just like you wanted. You're just going to have to trust us. Listen, I don't want you to lose any sleep over this, Mr. President. This thing is going to be positively blinding, injuriously bright to those without eye protection. The full body version, we're already designing opaque goggles. I'll just end by saying we can build this device that would drive mortality way down. I plan to keep posting stuff explaining how we can build this bright light corona killer Trump wants. I don't know if that'll help him beat Biden, but it'll sure help us beat this virus. And we could use it every year for flu, too. Lots of things.
I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah